and this is the blue ribbon event, the women's eights, and it may look as if everyone's racing for the gold medal here, but there are two races going on as we look at Elke Hippler there, because only 5 of these crews will qualify for the Olympics in Beijing. One of these crews is going out, and this makes it a fight to the death. Who's going to be the first 5? Who's going to win gold?
Several of these nations have had recent success, most recently the United States, who won the title in 2006 at Eton. Australia were victorious in Japan in 2005. Romania won the Olympic title in Athens in 2004. And you've got to go back to 2003, the last time that the host nation, Germany, triumphed in the women's eights. But it's all to play for as they come up to the 250-metre mark. And on the far side there, you can see a really good start by Germany. Canada furthest away from you in lane 1, also very positive. And then the United States just getting on terms now too from the bottom of the picture.
Yeah, the United States very disappointing in the opening heat of this regatta, where they lost to the Australians, and I think that was a real turnaround for them, real kick. So they've actually produced here more sparkling form. Look across from the Cox, Mary Whipple there, just to say, look, guys, we're actually rowing better than we did in the heat. We've got the lead. Let's not let it go.
Yeah, Mary Whipple, a wise head, and she's got a quite difficult job because the crews that she's arguably most concerned in are a little bit away from her.
Absolutely, but that's where experience comes in. I mean, that's where the Americans could have done with getting in that centre lane by winning the heat, but it was Australia that took it. But again, 2 of the women in that Australian pair, that Sarah Cook and Kim Crow, had that disappointment in the pairs race. Again, yesterday, that was a big disappointment. Will it count for today? Have they recovered to really push this 8 through?
And Canada doing a great job on the far side. The very experienced Buffy Lynn Williams in the stroke seat, and also Leslie Thompson, the coxswain there. She knows what 8s racing is all about, and the Canadians starting very strongly on lane 1, and they've got the Germans right alongside them there, so that's good race pace to work with.
Yeah, great pace from the Canadians. Americans still doing, but I'll tell you who's actually rowing very well, surprisingly, the British women. They had a fantastic repechage just to make this final, and they know they've got to get that Olympic qualification in, just behind the Canadians at this stage of the race. But coxed by Leslie Thompson there, you see, one of the most experienced coxes in the world. But the British women very, very close. In fact, the field is really closing up at this point. What a great race.
America, 2 from the bottom. At the moment, it's the North American crews leading the way, but also interesting to see Romania beginning to get into their stride. And we talk about experience. They've got the great Doina Ignat coming in specifically to stroke this crew, sitting behind her in the 7-seat, Georgietta Damian picking up the rhythm, conveying that into the engine room, and Suzanu in the 2-seat in the bow, just keeping everything nice and light and tight there.
Yeah, I mean, the Romanian women used to dominate the women's eights, and perhaps they're on the way back for the Beijing Olympics. But again, look at that, very close. It's the Australians, the heat winners, off the back, but the Americans, they've been brave, they've gone out, and at the moment, well, they're still hanging on, and Canadians out there. I think the Americans even edging a little bit, but look at Britain. Are they edging even into 3rd place there, David?
Yeah, it's very tight out there, and not all the cards have been played at the moment. Great Britain on the near side, closest to you, and there you get an idea of the boat speed. Canada on the far side, vying with the United States and Great Britain. But you can see there, Germany still very much in the picture there. Romania edging more and more in towards the front line. And can the Canadians keep this drive going? There are the Germans, you can just see them there. Elke Hippler and Nicole Zimmermann, 2 major players in that crew for Germany. And it is the Americans now with a little bit more than quarter of a length advantage, and this is really good, strong work here from Karen Davis, the stroke, and Caroline Lind in the 7-seat from America. They're really trying to push this crew on, and Mary Whipple just constantly looking to her left there to keep an eye on what's happening right on the far side of the regatta course.
Yeah, she's got no room for error in this event. And look at Jess Eady there, the stroke of the British women's 8. Fantastic performance in the repechage. She really led her crew through, and they've excelled expectations here to go through 1,500 metres, maybe in 3rd place.
The one thing you don't want to do is to finish 6th in this race, because you're going to have to find another way to qualify for the Olympics. Worth remembering that as we go into the last quarter, because this is the business end of the race, and it is oh so tight now. And here are Romania, and Romania now being urged on by Elena Georgescu. She's pretty experienced as well. And look at this, you could not wish for a final finale to the women's regatta here. And it is the United States of America. America being pressed by the Romanians in those characteristic red hats. And now suddenly the race pace has moved over onto this side of the regatta course.
Absolutely, and the British now dicing with the Australians, those heat winners, and will that be enough? Will the Australians find the pace? Sarah Hurd at stroke to wind that race past the British in the last 250 metres as the Romanians close on the Americans.
Well, this is quite extraordinary. The Canadians fading on the far side now, but it is the Americans being taken on for the lead by the Romanians. There's Doina Ignat, and now with just about 100 metres to go, it's still the Americans and the Romanians. Australia very much to the fore, fighting it out for the bronze medal with Great Britain, who are closest to you. America still with the edge now. Everybody up in the stands. Fantastic finish here by the Americans. They're holding on. Every stroke the Romanians are really trying to close on them, but it's the United States of America. They won it last year and they've retained the title. Romania a second, it's very close. Great Britain just denying Australia for the bronze medal, and then finishing also very fast Germany and Canada. The early leaders, I think, are the unfortunate crew.